Hello ratbags, it's Jade. Welcome to a 7 Days to Die console update news video. Yes, there is going to be a new 7 Days to Die game coming out in only a few days time. But don't get too excited. It looks like it's going to be a re-release with not any new content. So we're going to go over all that stuff. I was meant to be doing a 4-year anniversary since the last time console received an update for Xbox or PlayStation, but this new info made me change the video quite a bit, and I'm going to go over all that stuff today and hopefully try and not get you too hyped or excited, and maybe re-go over some of the stuff if you were out of the loop about why 7 Days to Die on console doesn't get any updates. So chuck us a like if you appreciate the stuff I've kept you guys up to date with over the last couple of years, or if you find this video useful, and let's go. So shout out to JADE-PLAYS, he's the guy that popped into my DMs on Twitter and told me that the game was going to be re-released in the UK at Game. Now Game is the biggest UK game seller in the stores, in the high streets, pretty much the GameStop of the UK scene. Go and check his channel out, he does 7 Days to Die content, aspiring YouTuber, give him a like on one of his latest 7 Days to Die videos. So yeah, he pointed out to this, that this game is going to be coming out on the 20th. At time of recording, this is only like 10 days away, and it's also going to be coming out on the 11th in other countries, as I showed you at the beginning with the Amazon Prime listing from the United Arab Emirates or somewhere like that. So the game is listed at £20. In the UK, it's £27.99 on the Xbox Store or £29.99 on the PSN Store. So it is a little bit cheaper, and it does have some things listed like automatic turrets and stuff. Now as far as I'm aware, there are no turrets in the current build of the Xbox or the PlayStation version, not the ones that I mentioned here anyway. It's been a while since I played. I covered this game when it first came out on consoles. I carried on covering updates, new content over the next 2 years, but once we started getting trouble with the updates, I kind of refused to play the game anymore. Even on PC where I could, I didn't want to support the devs because I felt like they were acting pretty shabbily. I don't want to get into that too much in this video. I've done a lot of criticism in the past of Fun Pimps. Go and watch the rest of the videos if you want to see that. I want this to be a bit more balanced and keep to the point of what we've got now. But for the people that have got no clue, you picked up this game, you've seen Neebs Gaming playing it recently, or some other streamer or YouTuber you really love, and wondering why the hell the console version is like 3 years behind. Let's break it down quickly. Skip 30 seconds if you don't hear this again. Fun Pimps sold their rights to consoles to Telltale Games, a common practice sometimes. Telltale Games were in charge of porting the game over and updates. They worked together with Fun Pimps to take code over the development and port it over to console. So we had a few updates come, but we were still quite a bit behind the PC version, like a year by the time the last update rolled around. These updates were hitting at a maybe yearly basis, or maybe a little bit sooner than that, some of the early ones, but it was there. We were getting content from the PC slowly. Telltale went out of business, and then the rights supposedly went out for auction, and Fun Pimps had to go through a legal process to get them rights back. Now, I covered this with multiple videos. I even managed to get in contact with people that had spoken to the auction site, the pretty much people that had to do all the absolvency work with the games company of Telltale, and they suggested that 7 Days to Die console rights were never actually up for auction. They automatically just went back, or there was a different way that the Fun Pimps had to get the rights back. Stranded Deep, another game that was affected by this, as they were bought for console rights for console. Again, the developers had to get their rights back, and they actually posted much more progress than Fun Pimps, giving us details about how and when the process would go, and they eventually got their game out like a year and a half later. During this time, the Fun Pimps hadn't been very communicative and been quite dismissive, suggesting that players, if they wanted to play 7 Days to Die, should get a PC. Eventually though, when they made the announcement about the fact that they had the console rights back, they suggested that they wouldn't be able to do any current gen updates, that the best they could do would be a next gen port once the PC version of the game was ready to go gold. 7 Days to Die went on sale in the green light way early access on Steam in like 2013. So at this point, it's 8 years since the game came out. It's 5 years since the game appeared on consoles. This is the game that's taken forever to get finished, and it looks like it probably won't be going gold until next year. And I told you guys all of this like 18 months ago. I took exception to this because it would mean to me that we would have to buy another version of the game. Regardless of whether or not we owned the older version, you'd have to spend another $40 or $50 on another version of the game. And some people are happy with this. Some people want to support the game, they love the game. It's still one of the most played survival games on console, and at times it's had more players than PC. That is according to the fun pimps themselves, and I've showed this off in previous videos where they cited that there were 15 to 20,000 players playing the game at any one time at the weekend still on Xbox and PlayStation. This puts the number of console players above PC at various stages. Maybe not now, but a couple years ago that was the case. So for a game that hadn't received updates for 3 years, was universally kind of beloved even though it's janky as hell on console, that's a pretty good basis to maybe think about updating your game still. Obviously the fun pimps felt there wasn't enough money to be made in this approach, but they forget that more and more people have carried on buying consoles, and definitely is a few good million on the table still that they neglected. Instead they're focusing on next gen, and unless anything's changed, they've reiterated that a couple of times now, that is the approach that they're most likely to take. As said, some people feel like it's definitely worth it, they want to support it. I personally feel like the fun pimps made so many mistakes and treated the console community so badly that I would not want to support another purchase of this game on next gen. Maybe a upgrade price, maybe for something like $5, $10 to get an upgrade to the next gen version, I can maybe just about go along with that. But since next gen consoles are in a bit of a flux at the moment, you can't get one because they're hard to get hold of. Lots of games have been now made for the PS4 as well as the PS5, even though they originally were planned for that way. And so many games are backwards and forwards compatible on Xbox Series XS and the PlayStation 5 now. It doesn't strike to me as much sense why I should have to pay any money for just what PC players have had all this time. So yeah, I went over 30 seconds, but screw it. This is a job listing that they posted 5 months ago. I was the first people to show this to you, that they were indeed looking for someone to help with ports over to console. They'd have got someone from Unity, or they were looking for people with Unity experience to help start porting the games over.
When we are doing a console version at some point, we really are. The team has a full desire to do it, and we're looking for partners. Actually, we have a person from Unity working with us that is starting on some early work on that.
Now remember, the word is port. We're not talking about free upgrades, we're talking about port jobs, port info. They pretty much have said they're not console developers, and it's beyond them to make the code available from PC onto console. So no matter if you agree or disagree, it's positive news for players that will be willing to upgrade or buy another version of the game, or new players that may be looking to experience 7 Days to Die, which is one of the most popular survival games going. Last word I'll say on this part of it is that you'll hear some annoying fanboys say that Microsoft and Sony don't allow you to update a game that may already break what's there. They've got strict policies, and this is absolute complete nonsense. I don't know who's told fun pimps this, or maybe they just created the lie themselves and they finally believe in it because they absolutely have no clue how to do anything in consoles. But you can break your game multiple times. Ark, Conan Exiles, DayZ, Rust, they've all done it. They've all made their game unavailable to play at times, or horrendously bad with updates and content patches or DLC, and Microsoft and Sony have been okay with that. I see this comment time and time again whenever I look at a video or a forum board discussing it from PC players. Just absolute fanboy standing complete different weird levels. Anyway, focus Jade, focused. Now maybe things have changed. Maybe the fun pimps have realised that yes, there's a lot of money to be made still on current gen consoles because of the slow rate of people maybe moving over due to the lack of the consoles available. Maybe that's a situation they're reevaluating. If so, I would implore them to come out and say so rather than keep silent on the matter, because all intents and purposes it does look like they're still just getting their development team ready to port the game over to next gen only. What strikes me as odd with this re-release is the fact that they are reselling a game that has not had an update for 3 years, that is not the experience that is listed on PC, and they haven't really shown any way to tell or warn people that it's not the game that they might expect. Again, maybe if the game has had an additional code to it, if they have updated the game a little bit with stuff, that would be great to hear, but why wouldn't the fun pimps be shouting out from the rooftops about this? They've had some pretty negative and bad PR. They feel like they've been badgered quite a bit by the console community, but only because of their ineptitude in actually communicating, and because of their failure to understand the passion from console fans, as well as the money side of things. So if you've got an opportunity to present good news, like yes, we're going to resell 7 Days to Die console, it will have some new features but not all the stuff from PC, that's still a win in my book. This is why I believe that this description of the game has just been lifted wholesale from somewhere else, from maybe the PC version, and the actual console version, the re-release that's going to come up in a few days time, that will not have any of the new stuff that's been added over the last 3.5 years. It's PR simply 101. If you've got good news, you shout it out to the top, and Fun Pimps haven't done that. So it's clearly just a re-release. They want to make some money. Now they're the publisher as well as the game maker. They will get a vast, much bigger amount of the profits, and selling these games physically can actually net them quite a bit as well. The retailers take around 10 to 15%, I do believe. The manufacturing costs can be as little as 5 to 10%, so they're still going to be making a hell of a lot of money, 60 to 70% of the profits of any sale. It may be even more than that. That was like data from like 7 years ago I saw about physical retail costs. Digitally, PlayStation and Xbox take 30% off any cut, just like Steam do. And again, contrary to popular belief, there is no massive increase in costs in getting your game on an Xbox or PlayStation. You do need to go through some quality of sort of checks, and you do need to make sure that it's streamlined a little bit. But in terms of, as long as you've got the game ready to go, the code is working on consoles, it isn't as much as people think it is. Back in the day, in Xbox 360 days, it used to cost thousands to get a game updated or even bug checked and stuff to be put on Microsoft's store, but that is no longer the case. They offer free updates and content drops. We live in a world of release it and patch it and fix it later, so of course lots of these games now don't have to pay the same amount of cost they used to. So Fun Pimps are pretty much laughing. They're selling at a cheaper price, and I commend them for that. That was one of the ideas I suggested. 11,000 of you guys have now signed the petition that I started a year ago, where I constructively gave some suggestions, like lowering the price of the game to $18.99, and lo and behold, they reduced it to $19.99. Give people more info about what the game will contain and what it won't contain, so that they're not lying to players expecting an experience the same as PC. It'll be really interesting to see if they adjust the prices on the actual physical or digital stores rather than just the physical. I'm guessing probably not. But if they want to win some good PR, they want to actually get their fans maybe back on side with them, it'd be a good move for new players as well, taking advantage of a reduced price. I want people to play this game. It is a great, fantastic game. It just hasn't received the right kind of support from its developers. And yes, they didn't have much to do with Telltale going under, but they still have made plenty of mistakes themselves along the way. I said too that they should find a reputable publisher and cut another deal to get current updates done, or publishing or fixing stuff. I also still do believe that number 3, every current owner of the game should get a free upgrade for the next gen consoles at least. Lots of game companies are doing this, some aren't, but majority are at this time. I also suggested that they carry on making skins DLC to help support the game or development costs, and they still have loads of skin packs on sale. And also suggested they hire a specific manager or port team to do the work themselves, and it looks exactly that's what they've done. So maybe they did read my petition, and maybe it did spark a bit of life into them a little bit sooner. These are pretty common sense ideas, suggestions, so I'm not going to make the claim that I am responsible, but it is a little bit interesting that a lot of the stuff I suggested there, they have gone about and done. If you want to carry on signing it, you can. A lot of you guys ask me why I don't make more videos about it. To be honest, it's flogging a dead horse. If they know about the petition by now, they certainly haven't adjusted or responded to it, and they just don't seemingly care enough to talk about it. Their communication has been awful, only mentioning some of these things in random streams with one of their developers that is also a streamer too. And literally only like 2 or 3 statements over the last 3 years on their actual forum website. So this is good news, and this has changed the aspect of this video. I had recorded about half this video where I was just kind of timelining everything that's happened with 7 Days to Die in a very non-biased way. I was trying to rein in the passion a little bit and be a bit more constructive. But every time I see more info come out about what they're planning with 7 Days to Die, it gets me just a little bit more pissed off. This is going to be good news for new fans. This will be good news for players that simply just want to play their favourite game. They don't care if they have to spend another $40 or $50. Power to you. You do you. As you saw from that little clip, there's plenty of content creators milking this kind of content, and that's why I've tried not doing it as much, only when we have actual proper news. But that is the situation at the moment. Don't expect brand new content to suddenly appear on the console version on the 20th. If that changes, I'll let you know. I'll be the happiest man alive, and I will fully give 7 Days to Die a break and maybe promote them a little bit. But as of right now, the re-release is simply just that, a way for them to generate more money and literally carry on milking a dead cow. I'm going to go ahead and order a physical copy edition of the game, even though I own it obviously on Xbox and PlayStation already, and if it doesn't have the stuff that's contained in it, I'll let you guys know. It might be time to actually look at legal kind of routes if it doesn't actually have the stuff listed on the box or in the descriptions on the websites that they're selling it in. Yes, mistakes can be made, maybe it has just been lifted, and I do firmly believe that, but if it does contain stuff like turrets and stuff like that, I'm sure that stuff wasn't added to the game. It's actually really hard to find this info out. They seemingly have removed the patch notes from the actual forums. I can't find any information about the actual console patch notes other than maybe looking over some of my old videos. They've got the announcements about the Telltale layoffs and about their statements about what they planned last year or the year before, but there's no real links to any of the proper patch notes. The last one that I found, it said that the page didn't exist anymore. So are they now deleting and hiding what the console originally had? They have had a website change in that time, so maybe it's just an accident, maybe there's a bunch of stuff that's been there, but it does seem a bit iffy that PC has everything categorized. You can go and look at patch notes from Alpha 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever, but console seemingly very hard to find. So take a look at that game website, let me know if any of that stuff is currently in the game right now on Xbox or PlayStation. I'll keep you posted, I'll keep you updated. The saga 7 Days to Die isn't finished yet. Let's hope the fun pimps carry on going in the positive right route. Let's hope they make the right decision and they actually do free upgrades for everyone, or maybe even go ahead and try and support current gen, which are still available and still possible. So many big survival games like Ark, Conan, No Man's Sky, DayZ, they all still support current gen, so I can't see why the fun pimps still can't. Agree, disagree, pop it in the comment section down below and go and check out that petition. Laters, rat bags.